Imagine an organization, okay, maybe like a grand castle even.
Yeah.
Everything runs like clockwork.
Right. Polished processes, clear hierarchy.
Exactly. Directions come straight from the top. The whole machine just hums. But even inside this really impressive structure, a leader, maybe a visionary one, notices this quiet.
Like a heavy silence.
Yeah. You see sparks of creativity, maybe flashes of insight from the team, but the big innovative ideas, they feel trapped, unheard, like they're stuck in, I don't know, forgotten drawers of this strict system.
It's a really powerful image, isn't it? That tension. You've got the smooth machine, but then you have all this human potential just simmering underneath, waiting.
It really is. And well, that's exactly what we're going to try and unravel today. What if, and this is the core idea, what if the key, the real key to unlocking all that potential lies in giving every single person a formal institutionalized voice?
A structured way to be heard.
Precisely. We're diving deep into some fascinating insights from Momen Ghazwani's work, Free Expression, Transforming Organizations Through Collective Intelligence.
A really compelling read.
It is. Our mission really for this deep dive is to unpack how this kind of cultural revolution around free expression can genuinely transform even, the most traditional workplaces.
Unleashing that collective intelligence.
Yes. And leading to innovation that actually lasts. So get ready for maybe a few aha moments about how sometimes the quietest voices, well, they can end up having the biggest impact.
Okay. Where do we start?
Well, to really get how radical this shift is, I think we first need to look at the foundation. The traditional leadership model that's been so dominant.
Transformational leadership.
Exactly. For decades, that was kind of the gold standard, right? Especially in big organizations. The leader's word, their vision, it was crafted right at the top.
And then cascaded down, like instructions.
Yeah, precise instructions, pushing everyone towards that common goal. And this model, it usually rests on four core pillars.
That's right. The first is idealized influence. This is where the leader is more than just charismatic. They actually embody the values, they build trust, inspire respect. They're a role model.
Okay.
Then you've got inspirational motivation. That's the leader's knack for painting this really compelling shared vision, something that makes employees genuinely want to go the extra mile.
Right, gets people excited. And the third one, intellectual stimulation.
That's about actively challenging the status quo, encouraging creative thinking, maybe unconventional problem solving, really pushing people to think differently.
Sparking ingenuity.
Yes. And the fourth is individualized consideration. This is where a leader pays genuine attention to each person's unique needs, their aspirations, helping them grow.
So these four pillars, when they work well, they do create this environment where people feel motivated, empowered, maybe even creative. They're definitely foundational.
No doubt. Many successful organizations are built on these principles.
Okay, but let's go back to that castle. Imagine it's in the middle of a digital storm. What if that very top-down strength becomes its biggest weakness?
The paradox.
Right. In today's world, things move so fast. Relying only on this traditional model, well, it runs a serious risk of stagnation.
Because information flow is too slow, too filtered.
Exactly. When ideas have to climb up through multiple layers of management, it just takes too long to spot problems, let alone react quickly.
And the structure's designed for efficiency. They can actually end up stifling the very collaboration you need for innovation. It's like an innovation black hole.
Yeah. You've got smart people maybe on the front lines, seeing things firsthand.
Seeing problems, seeing solutions.
But their insights get stuck. They never make it up the pyramid, or if they do, they're diluted. It's a bottleneck. A hidden tax on creativity, like you said.
So the structures that provide order can also inadvertently suppress the new ideas needed to adapt.
Precisely. So how do we actually break down that bottleneck? This is where Ghazwani introduces the real game changer, organizational free expression, OFE.
Okay.
And this isn't just, some vague open door policy that sounds nice but doesn't change much.
No, it's much more concrete. It's a systematic, institutional mechanism.
Yes. It gives every single employee, doesn't matter what rank or position, the formal authority to initiate structured meetings.
That sounds potentially revolutionary, a huge shift in power dynamics.
It absolutely reshapes things.
Yeah.
Because these aren't just random chats over coffee.
Right. They're organized dialogue platforms. Anyone can potentially invite anyone else, including senior executives, to a direct discussion about ideas, challenges, solutions.
It's like shifting maybe from a traditional symphony with one conductor
to more of a collective jam session,
Yeah.
where every musician adds their unique part.
Exactly. but still serving the overall goal, it turns that rigid hierarchy into something much more flexible, interactive, a network.
Okay, I see the potential, but how does it actually work? What makes it stick?
Well, the model is really built on 3 fundamental governing principles. Think of them as tools to dismantle those invisible barriers and actually foster innovation.
Right.
The first principle is exactly what it sounds like: removing organizational barriers.
Getting rid of the gatekeepers.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
By empowering employees to call these meetings, you bypass those traditional filters that delay or just kill off innovative ideas.
So an idea from someone, say, on the factory floor.
Instead of getting stuck, going up the chain, maybe getting distorted.
It can flow directly, immediately to the decision makers, without intermediaries.
That's the idea. A direct line. It cuts through the red tape. It implies a radical level of trust in everyone.
That is radical, which probably leads into the second principle.
It does. Intellectual equality in idea evaluation.
Meaning, judge the idea, not the person's title.
Exactly. Ideas have to be looked at based purely on their merit, their potential impact, not on the functional authority or the seniority of whoever suggested it.
Okay, that sounds logical, almost obvious on paper.
Right. But think about it. How often does that really happen?
Yeah, there's definitely an ingrained bias sometimes. You assume the idea from the VP is probably better thought out.
Or just safer to agree with. This principle actively pushes back against that. It's designed to empower people at all levels to contribute confidently, rewarding the thinking, not the rank.
Letting the best ideas win, truly, regardless of source. That's a big cultural shift.
Huge. And the third principle, stimulating open discussion, feels like it holds it all together.
The how of the conversation.
Yeah. The goal is an environment where constructive dialogue thrives, where different viewpoints aren't just tolerated, they're welcomed, explored critically, but always respectfully.
And crucially, this isn't just about, sharing opinions back and forth. It should be a structured process.
Right. For refining ideas, spotting risks, finding solutions together.
And this directly builds what psychologists call psychological safety. That feeling, that deep sense that you can actually speak up, share a half-formed idea, or even voice a concern without fearing you'll be shut down, criticized, or marginalized.
And without that safety.
The whole OFE concept, no matter how well designed, just wouldn't work. People would stay silent.
Okay, so the potential is massive. Dismantling barriers, equality of ideas, safe, open discussion. It sounds amazing. But let's be realistic. Implementing something this radical must have challenges.
Oh, absolutely. Like any big change, it's not a magic wand. There are definite hurdles.
I can imagine the first one right away. If suddenly everyone can call a meeting, what about resource strain? Will people just be stuck in meetings all day?
That's a very real concern. If it's not managed well, yes, it could drain time and energy away from core tasks.
So how do you stop the chaos?
The key is structure. A clear organizational framework is essential. Maybe you set limits, a certain number of meeting invitations per person per month, or you have clear criteria for which meeting proposals get accepted based on urgency or potential impact.
So rules of engagement.
Exactly. Smart structure, not just a free-for-all.
Okay. What about the quality of the meetings themselves? There's the risk of unproductive debates, right? Dialogue is great, but if it just goes in circles.
Yeah, nobody wants meetings that feel like a waste of time, that drains morale fast.
So what's the antidote?
Training is crucial. People need skills in constructive communication. Things like active listening, how to disagree respectfully, basic conflict management.
Practical skills.
Very practical. And for really complex or potentially sensitive topics, having trained, neutral facilitators can make a world of difference. They keep the conversation focused and productive.
That makes sense. Now, what about the people currently in charge? The leaders. This model shifts a lot of control downwards. I can easily foresee resistance from traditional leaders.
Definitely. Leaders who are used to being the primary decision makers, who equate authority with control, might perceive OFE as a direct threat.
They're taking away my power.
Sort of. It requires a pretty profound cultural shift. It means redefining leadership, moving away from just giving orders.
Towards facilitating dialogue.
Yeah.
Guiding the collective intelligence.
Precisely. It's not about losing influence, it's about exercising it differently. Through enabling others, through asking the right questions, through synthesizing ideas. But yeah, that requires support, training focused on inclusive, participatory leadership styles.
It's a mindset shift for them too. Okay, one more big one. Cultural risks.
Yeah.
Even if you have the system, the training, what if the underlying culture is just too hierarchical? where lower-level employees are genuinely afraid to speak up, even if they technically have the right. Fear of negative consequences, maybe subtle ones. Old habits, ingrained deference.
That's a major hurdle, and this brings us back to psychological safety. It has to be the absolute priority.
How do you build that? Really build it.
It's not about a memo or a single announcement. It's about consistent, visible commitment from the very top. Senior leaders need to walk the talk. Meaning they actively participate in these meetings when invited by junior staff. They listen respectfully, they champion ideas that come from unexpected places, and crucially, they celebrate successes that originated lower down the hierarchy. They need to show repeatedly that it's not just safe, but actually valued to contribute, regardless of your position.
Show, don't just tell. Okay. So let's pull this all together. What's the big picture takeaway? If an organization really embraces this, integrates free expression into its DNA, what happens?
Well, it's more than just a policy change. It's like the organizational spirit shifts. That structure that felt rigid, maybe silent, it starts to breathe.
Transforms from that fixed castle into something more like a living organism, flexible, adaptable.
Exactly. When employees genuinely have the power to engage in structured dialogue with management, it does more than just boost, say, intellectual stimulation. It builds real mutual trust. It fosters transparency. And it cultivates that deep psychological safety we keep talking about.
Which is the bedrock for innovation that sticks.
Absolutely crucial for sustainable innovation.
So the organization becomes more of a dynamic ecosystem. Bureaucratic hurdles start to dissolve.
Yes, and problem solving speeds up because ideas flow freely. Insights that would have been lost before,
stuck in those forgotten drawers,
now reach the people who can act on them. This massively boosts the organization's ability to innovate, to respond to what the market or the world is demanding.
Okay, so for you listening, if this sparks something, if you're thinking of how to bring some of this energy into your own work environment, what are some practical first steps?
Good question. First, maybe don't try to boil the ocean. Consider starting small. Pilot projects in specific departments or teams. Test it. Learn, adapt. Sensible, get some data, see how it works in your specific context. And you mentioned structure before. Establish a clear organizational framework. How are meetings initiated? What are the expectations? What's the process? Clarity prevents confusion and misuse.
And invest in the people side. Training seems non-negotiable.
Definitely. Training for leaders on how to facilitate, not just direct. And training for all employees on constructive dialogue, active listening, managing disagreements productively.
Build those communication muscles.
Yeah.
And constantly reinforce safety.
Yes. Actively promote psychological safety. Senior management commitment needs to be visible and consistent. Celebrate those cross-level contributions. Make heroes out of people who speak up with good ideas wherever they sit.
And finally,
measure the impact. You need to know if it's working. Track things. Key performance indicators like productivity, maybe the number of new initiatives, employee satisfaction scores, retention rates. See if the needle is actually moving.
Makes sense. Okay, so wrapping up. In this world we're in, constant change, loads of uncertainty, innovation isn't just a nice to have anymore, is it?
No, it's basic survival. It's how you thrive.
And institutionalizing free expression, making it part of the system. It feels like it could be more than just a good idea. It could be the actual cornerstone of building an organization that can consistently innovate.
Because the real power isn't necessarily locked up at the top, it's distributed, it's in the collective intelligence of everyone.
Unleashing that potential. So here's a final thought to leave you with. Imagine an organization that doesn't just run efficiently, like that clockwork castle, but one that actually never falls silent, because it's constantly breathing innovation in every interaction every day. What stands out to you most about how this kind of shift could transform your own environment?